The coronavirus could be worse than we could possibly imagine. Now I'm busy, I have things to do. But this seemed like very important news, and I just wanted to get it out. There's doctors from China and people with reports from China saying that the amount of people actually infected with the coronavirus are far, far worse than we could have ever known. In fact, 100,000 people may be infected. 100,000. But do you think China's going to tell us? Do you think China's going to tell the truth? No, no, no. This is China we're talking about. A communist regime. People don't have civil rights. Why would they tell the truth? Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, and today on Twitter.com, this is sobering news. Here you can see by colon. She said doctors were on the verge of a mental breakdown, and they had reached their limits, treating more than 100 patients a day per doctor. Doctors estimate that at least 100,000 people are actually infected. Chinese government is lying. Hashtag Wuhan coronavirus, hashtag coronavirus. And here you can see. Now, I don't understand Chinese, but apparently that's what's going on in this video. You see some people talking. I'm going to assume they're talking about the situation over in China. This is serious stuff, folks. This seems like serious stuff, and I'm honestly... I've spoken out against China in the past. I speak out against China now. It's a very backwards country. And the sanitation, there are no standards. There are no standards in China. You know when you go to a restaurant and the health organization will give it a rating A, B, C, so you know how healthy the place is and you know how clean it is? Well, China doesn't have that. They don't have standards, you know? Well, why would they need standards for health? And that's why diseases are so rapidly exploding there and circulating there. And you know this coronavirus is thought to have come from a bat. And what do they eat in China? Bats. Maybe if they didn't eat bats, we wouldn't have to deal with this nonsense. But before we get into all this, a quick word from our sponsor.
Zuck the cuck drinks water like a duck, but he also drinks your data. So tell him and Google to shove your data up their schwing-schwangs by downloading the Brave browser. It's free, blocks online advertising, and protects your privacy and data from evil tech companies. You only see ads if you want to see them, and you get cryptocurrency for your attention. Don't let Zuck use you to make a buck. Download Brave by clicking on the link down below.
Okay, so we're back. We're going to look through this, because I really think the situation is worse than is being reported. Now this is one thing, okay? Someone talking, a few screenshots, but I got another one, folks. This one is by Max How Route. This is a filmmaker, a writer, a comedian. He's saying, I just received an urgent new video uploaded by the Chinese doctor from the hashtag coronavirus quarantine zone in Wuhan. I need your help with translation. It's very important we get it right before it goes out to major media outlets. And yeah, the media's not talking about this. They're not. So this is someone from inside the quarantine zone. If anybody would know the true extent of the problem, it would be this person. So I don't understand Chinese. So we're going to look down here. We're going to try to find a translation. So C. Fly says, not sure if this is real or not, but this is basically what she said. She, a doctor in Wuhan, there are 90,000 cases. 90,000. That is far more than being reported by the media. The virus can spread from one carrier to 14. All medical supplies in Wuhan are low in supplies. They are running on donations to get masks, gloves, etc. 90,000 people. Okay, what did the media say? Well, what did they say on the news? Look at this screen cap. Okay, because I've got this collection here of all these news sources. And everyone's saying, oh, it's not a big deal. You know, not that many people are infected. What do we know so far? The virus. Dozens of people are dead in China, and more than 900 are infected. More than 900. 900. Yet, we have 90,000 cases. Suspected, and allegedly. Well, if one carrier can infect 14 people, well, let's do a little math. Let's say there was 900 people in this little calculator here, right? And let's just say that at max efficiency, it spreads to 14 people. Well, that's 10,000 people. That doesn't seem so bad. Let's do it again. Oh, now it's 100,000 people. What happens if that happens again? Oh, these numbers keep growing. And that's kind of the point here. The media told us that there was only like 900 cases around the world. And yet China has huge quarantines of the cities. They're locking up Wuhan. They're locking up surrounding cities. Like 32 million people are in quarantine. This is China. They have no standards. They have no equipment. They're not equipped to deal with this. They don't have the medical apparatus. China is not a place where people get health care. If you're a normal person in China, you don't get health care. It's all like you got to make your own health care. That's basically it. If you're one of the like rich 10%, yeah, you got health care. You got the good stuff. But if you're just 90% of China, it doesn't exist. That's the place. That's the kind of place China is. C-Fly says she asks people to avoid going out, especially during Chinese New Year. Isn't it the year of the rat? You mean the plague? Pretty much. As because the disease is hard to treat and control without proper equipment. Also, it seems that the virus has mutated since the beginning. This is what I was talking about. This is what I told everyone I know whenever I have this discussion about the coronavirus. Mutation, mutation, mutation. Where did this virus come from? First of all, no one seems to know, but they think it came from a bat. A bat virus should not transmit to a human. And then they said it had snake DNA in it, so that it must have been a snake who ate a bat, and then someone ate the snake, or the snake spread the disease. Now, I don't know which is true. They eat bats in China. They eat snakes in China. But let's just say that is what happened. You're telling me that a coronavirus that existed in bats mutated, jumped to a snake, a cold-blooded creature, which is allegedly not supposed to be possible, and then mutated again to jump to humans, and has mutated in humans again. This thing seems to rapidly mutate. And you know, people like Mr. Anti-Bully on Twitter, they were saying things like, it's kind of weird how there's a Chinese laboratory that studies deadly viruses just 10 miles from Wuhan. Now, of course, people are going to call it like a conspiracy, like, oh, how could this ever happen? China is such a wonderful place. They would never experiment on their own citizens or screw up like this. Oh, really? If you really believe that, like if you truly, honest, like deep in your heart believe that, not only are you naive, you're completely clueless about China or the world. I'm sorry, that's just, you have no clue. You haven't seen what I've seen. You gotta watch stuff on China, okay? What really goes on there? Let me just put it this way. If they build like a skyscraper, you can safely assume that the metal they cut corners, okay? And the bricks are hollow. I don't know how else to put it. That's China for you. It's just corruption here and there. So here we have a translation here. Let's look at this. Okay, so this video was on YouTube, and we have a full translation. People praising the CCP. Please look at her eyes and see the tail. I'm from Hong Kong, and now I've confirmed new viruses. The Hong Kong government hasn't done anything. We haven't closed the gates and let our medical staff and people take their own lives. I feel angry. I don't comment on whether this film is true or false, but keep in mind that only the people suffer under totalitarian authority. Translation for her is what I can do for the time being. So yeah, every time something bad happens, and I've had this happen to me, you always have these Chinese shills that come crawling out of the woodwork. Oh, you're misinformed about China. China's actually good. I love China. China's amazing. Yeah, okay. Who am I talking to? The propaganda 2-cent army of China? Because they pay people to go online and spread propaganda about China. And you go screw yourselves. Oh, China's a great... No, it's not. Oh, but China... No. No. Don't waste my time.
Donald Trump, don't trust China. China is asshole.
Okay, so let's read this translation, okay? The words of the physician in the film. My friends and relatives in the family, I am Junhu. I am still in the epidemic area of Wuhan, Hankou. I report to you the current situation in Hubei and even the whole country. There are now more than 90,000 people infected. What is the chance of this virus being transmitted? That is, after a person is infected, if she is not effectively isolated or treated, he will be transmitted to 14 people around him. Then his base is very large. It's explosive. Now is the Spring Festival holiday. the traditional Chinese New Year holiday. Relatives and children are brought home to eat dinner together. See, this is a nightmare. And this is what you notice about Chinese culture. They have no consideration for no one else. Zero consideration. So this coronavirus is not going to stop Chinese people from flooding China, from going to these infected areas, for trying to squeeze past regulations. That's just the kind of culture China has. You don't believe me? Well, let's look at this story. Here is express.co.uk. She's a time bomb. Chinese woman hides coronavirus to enter France and then brags online. A Chinese woman who knew she was infected with the deadly coronavirus has disguised her symptoms by deliberately taking antipyretics and successfully boarded a plane to France. And then she bragged about it online with photos. This is the kind of culture that China has. She had the coronavirus. She knew she was sick, but she hid her symptoms so she could make it to France, and then she bragged online, which is how she was caught. What a wonderful person. How considerate this woman who they're hiding her face. Oh, why are they hiding her face? It would sure be a shame if people found out who this bioweapon, this walking biocontaminant was. She should be charged with bioterrorism, because that's exactly what this is. How do we know she wasn't sent by China to infect France? How do we know this wasn't all China's ploy? We don't. You just don't know. So let's go back to the translation here. The situation is special now, and I hope that everyone will not go out, do not party, and do not go to the door. New Year. Every year is the Spring Festival. As long as people are safe, everyone can be together anytime, anywhere. Now this doctor's talking sense. Please, do not celebrate Chinese New Year. This disease could get out of hand. We already have 90,000 people infected, and if one carrier can infect 14, this is a pandemic. And the pandemic is worse than we could have imagined, and it's only going to get worse. Knowing the media, knowing the mainstream, they're going to suppress this. They're going to suppress the truth. Share this video. Share the video. Please, just share the video. Share something. I'm so sick of this. Because what's going to happen is, let's say this gets confirmed later, a month later, and they finally admit, well, there's actually a lot of people who've been infected. This may be worse than we thought. Because that's happened before. It happens a lot. Governments don't want to cause panic, so they hide the true scope of the issue. China doesn't want to look bad, so they're not going to tell you how many people are actually infected. That's how the game is played. So someone like me will be suppressed, and then the mainstream media, months later, oh, well, they're first to bring you this news. Yeah. No, you weren't. It was people like us online who actually look, who are actually paying attention. What a world. So they go on to say, I would like to introduce you to the medical supplies of the entire Hubei province. Now the entire medical system in Wuhan and the entire medical system in Hubei province are superiors and health committees and various municipal departments, municipal governments, provisional governments, donations. They're running on donations. They don't even have goggles, trousers, gowns. They need medical staff. I am now recording this video with everyone on the hotline just to alert everyone. I stress again, do not go out during the Spring Festival holiday. Just stay in your own room. Otherwise, why am I killed in the front? I do it for my family, my loved ones, and they are healthy. I hope everyone can understand, and I also know that some relatives are ones, and they are healthy. I hope everyone can understand. And I also know that some relatives are not in the WeChat group. Please, those see news, call each other, inform each other. They must do it. I hope everyone can raise awareness. This is a political task. This is what I'm saying. Here's the problem. One, the Chinese culture, they're just not going to care. They're going to, Chinese New Year's, it's a bad luck if I don't go, so I'm going to go anyway. Who's that stupid? Like, who in the world is that stupid? Well, look, maybe they'll listen. Maybe they'll actually stay home. But we'll see what happens. And report of very bad news. This new type of coronavirus has undergone a second-generation mutation, which means that when the first-generation mutation, we can treat it symptomatically. Then when the second-generation mutation occurs, this is terrible, because its chance of infection is not a disease that is transmitted by one person infect 14 people around. Then it's explosive. Hope everyone must keep in mind. Don't go out, don't party, don't have dinner. Thank you all. Now, this will be a disaster. And I can't say with 100% accuracy that, the corona pandemic is worse than we know. But I think I can say with some certainty that it's probably far worse than we know, and far worse than we're being told. Now, these are small reports. I'm not in it. I can't verify them. It's possible that this is all just a fuss. Considering the fact that the media is like, oh, it's too early to call this a pandemic, a global outbreak. I disagree. I think we're on the verge of something terrible. Now, I know this virus isn't the worst virus of all time. You actually stand a decent chance of surviving it. But let me ask you something. What happens if it undergoes another mutation? What happens then? But that's merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this story? What do you think about the coronavirus? Do you think we're being told the truth? Do you think it's worse? Do you know if this is real? I don't know. All I know is I'm looking at it, I'm examining it. We'll see. We'll see. Let me know what you think. Now, as always, if you want to support the content that I make, you can join me on Patreon. You can join me on Subscribestar. Those pages are down in my description. Be sure to check them out. There is a joining bonus if you're interested in that sort of thing. You can donate with Bitcoin. Again, share the video. I'm tired of things like this not going reported. I'm tired of the media just shoving it all aside. I'm tired of being lied to. I'm just sick of it. That's what I'm here for, to try to figure out what's going on. So I'm not saying this is 100%. I'm not saying that with 100% certainty we know there's 90,000 people infected. But I am telling you that this Chinese doctor is giving us this information. Maybe they're not real. Maybe it's all a ploy. Or maybe not. I guess that's up for you to decide. As always, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.